Does the world around you ever make you feel like you are wrong? Whether it's like some sort of mistake that you made, or maybe you find yourself lacking when you compare yourself to other people? Well, I'm going to tell you right now that if you really want to feel empowered and live your best life, one of the major keys to that is understanding the mechanics of how reality works and how time works, because time really is just a side effect of the fact that you are shifting through alternate timelines and alternate realities. Same difference, but you're shifting billions and trillions of times a second, and you are literally becoming a new person every second. And this might sound kind of hard to grasp. I know a lot of this is a bit much, for me when I was learning about things like this. It's kind of interesting to think about, but it suggests a lot of things, because the only thing that is here and now. The past is just a collection of now moments, and the future is a collection of now moments. Everything is happening here and now. So as you shift, which is, based on your energy, you shift into different timelines, into different realities, and also into different versions of you every second. And this is, based on Planck time. So it's 10 to the power of, I think, 43, that many zeros. So that many times in every second, you are a brand new, completely different, utterly, distinctly different person. That many times a second, which is obviously well more than 1 trillion. So if that's the case, that means that your future can be different and your past can be different. And this is also something that's kind of like hard to grasp, that your past can be changed. Your past is malleable, it can be different, but this has actually been proven with real world examples, because, and I've used this example before, but there is examples out there of people who have, multiple personality disorder, where one personality has a cancerous tumor and the other personality does not. So this is literal physical evidence proof that you can be a completely different person, moment to moment. And if that's the case, well, you can change who you are. And it's really important too, to not let the world define you. Not let society define you. It doesn't matter what you did. Did you learn from it? What did you learn from what you did had you not, done it otherwise? Or maybe you're just feeling lacking. Maybe you're not really taking action. Maybe you're feeling, like a loser or something. And that's okay too. But, society does not dictate who you are and how you should feel about yourself. End of story. That's just how it is. The only person who says you should ever feel anything about anything is you. So if you're feeling a negative emotion about yourself, or if you're feeling a negative emotion about anything you don't want to be feeling a negative emotion about, that is most likely because you're deciding to match an energy, a frequency, a story, a narrative, a belief system that someone else is offering. And that's it. They're offering it to you, and then you take it and you create it in your reality, because everyone's just in their own reality. That's really it. You can only be affected by someone if you agree to match their energy. And that's what you do when you feel judged by the world. You agree to match the energy of their judgment, and you're like, yeah, you're right. I'm not enough. You're right. I made this mistake and therefore I can never be forgiven, or I'm never gonna take action, I'm never gonna get off my butt and do my life, or whatever have you. It's all nonsense. Not to mention the fact that failure is how you learn. Failure is a blessing. One of my favorite Yoda quotes, unfortunately from the sequel trilogy, is that, failure, the greatest teacher is. It really is. That's where you learn the most from, because you can't know what you want without knowing what you don't want. That's just simply how it is. And when you take that positively, it's not about forcibly, forcing a negative thing to be positive, but it's staying in a positive state despite the negative circumstance. And when you do that, you actually receive the data that you need to receive, whatever you needed to learn from it. Because there's something there to learn. Like I said, what would you have not learned if it didn't happen, So the thing is you learned from it. So now you're taking different actions. Now you're a different person than who you are. So there's no need to go and dig up all that old energy and bring it back up and recreate it in this now moment and then feel all this shame and what have you and, oh, I'm not good enough, blah, 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 blah. No, you don't need to pick that up and reinvigorate it. You don't need to do that. It's in the past. Leave it there. It's a blessing because you learned from it. It's a good thing, Just like when you're driving and the gauge says E, you're almost out of gas. You need to know that. You need to know that. And so you act differently, you become a different person, and you literally are a different person. Literally. A completely different person. And this different you who takes different actions, if you truly are acting differently like the new and empowered you, then this supersedes the old you. And then the past you doesn't exist anymore. Now you have a different past. You have a completely different past now because you're a completely different person. I mean, it only is going to happen if you're completely acting as a new and different person. You're only going to shift realities that way. Because like if you're going back and being the old you and taking these old, negative beliefs and reactions, you're just going to probably shift back into a similar old reality. Probably won't be the same one, but I mean, that's not where you want to be. So the thing is no matter where you are, you can always get to where you truly need to be because you always are where you need to be. Wherever you are right now is the perfect place for you. Everything that's happening, you just need to allow it and come at it from a positive angle. Why am I creating this in my reality? Not that you're responsible for other people's actions, but why am I creating this in my reality? Why am I feeling this way about this, etc. There's many ways to approach negative reactions. And then you can, let go of that negative energy that was holding you down, that was making you tired, that was making you not inspired to take action on the real you. And you can add that energy back to you. And then you're ready to go and start being you. See, because the more you peel back those onion layers and heal yourself and become the real you, the more energy you add back to yourself and the more energy you have to become the you that you really are. It's just, it's a momentum. It's a momentum. And it's not, it's not linear. It's up and down, but it's going up. And that's why we're all here, baby. Because, we came here to forget who we really were, so we could learn about ourselves from a different angle. So, I mean, the fact that you're even on this planet is really just proof that you are an extremely powerful soul. And that's just fact. So how could you ever let society tell you that you're not good enough because, oh, you don't have a bunch of money, or you don't have all these things, or you're not, out there grinding it. And it's just like, this is a dream. This is a video game, what's funny to me? Like in a video game, so I play this game, right, called RuneScape. And there's the more elitist players who play the heck out of that game. And they're all high level and they got all the items, and they're rich as hell in the game. And they'll sit there and they'll see some new player, right, who has a bunch of low level items. They probably hardly know what they're doing. They're vastly lower on the hierarchy of, the game. And they look at a person like that, and most of the time it's a meme to say, look at how much fun that person is having. And the reason for that is because that person is probably just playing the game, The person is probably just enjoying their life, living in the now moment of being in the game, as opposed to these higher level players who are typically min-maxing and chasing the meta, which is, the most efficient tactical way to, do something. They're like, oh, what's the best way I can do this? And, people, obviously that makes sense because you don't want to waste time, but you can take it too far clearly because there's a balance of, oh, I just want to play the game and, oh, I want to be extremely efficient. So it just goes to say, when there's this this video game, I guess, you know, well, it is a game, but there's this game where there's not really a hierarchy of social status. You know, it's like there's no like looking down on the people who are lower on the hierarchy of the in-game money. There's no, you know, arrogance. There's no like, oh, I'm better, because it's just a game. It's just a fucking video game. So none of that is real. And that applies to real life. Everything is an illusion. This is a dream. No one is better than anyone else. Everyone is one person having multiple experiences in different bodies. We're all just one person. There's only one thing. There's no out there. This is all happening here and now. So if you're infinite and indestructible, and this is all just an illusionary dream, and you're the one who's creating it, why would you ever feel down about yourself? You know? Why would you ever just, you know, agree with others in society that you're not good enough, that you're wrong, because you're not grinding, or you're not chasing something, or you made a mistake, or you broke some law or something, I don't know, some sort of judgment was cast upon you. Who cares what other people think? Who cares? Most of the time it's projection, or just, you know, ill-informed judgment. Like a truly enlightened person is not going to go around judging. And, you know, that's just fact. And so with understanding like this, it's really just key to being the real you. Because I know you got this in you. It's just reminding yourself, this is not real. In a positive way. This is not real. I'm creating all of this. I am creating all of this. This is all a reflection. And as always, thank you for watching.